na nagsilbing taguan ng mga kriminal at mga salaping kinita sa ilegal na droga na pinambili ng mga lupa, pinangsuhol sa mga politiko, ginamit sa eleksyon noon at ngayon, at pambayad sa mga traidor na politiko at kawani ng gobyerno kapalit ng kanilang tulong at pakikipagsabwatan upang mabigyan ng huwad o pekeng pagkakakilanlan ang mga dayuhang kriminal.
Bagamat nakasuhan na ang mga ilang personalidad na nasa likod ng human trafficking, money laundering at iba pang mga krimen kaugnay ng mga operasyon ng Pogo, ang mga banyagang sangkot na maituturing na masterminds dito, gaya nila Wang Xiyang, Duaren Wu, at Michael Yang ay hindi pa nahahanap ng mga otoridad.
Nakakapanindig balahibo ang mga natuklasan ng Quadcom. Masalimuot, subalit nahimay natin at napagtagpi-tagpi ang lahat. Balikan ninyo ang mga pangalan ng mga personalidad na binanggit at nasangkot sa lahat ng usapin. Hindi sila mga ordinaryong Pilipino o ordinaryong politiko, nakakagimbal at nakakatakot. Sila
Chief Nicolas Torre, malaki po ang inyong responsibilidad laban dito sa Pogo. 10,000 po ang mga Pogo operators na nagkalat pa po sa ating bansa. Sa inyong tapang at kisig, alam po namin na itong pong 10,000 ito ay mahuhuli natin. Sa mga small Pogo operators, ito yung mga tinatawag natin ngayon ng mga backyard. Backyard na lang ginagawa po nila pero patuloy po sila nag-ooperate. Na nagtatago ngayon, umanda kayo. Sa masangkot sa human trafficking, money laundering, scam, torture, kidnapping, at iba pang mga kababuyan na nagtatago sa ibang bansa, may araw din kayo.
Hollywood and James Bond movies combined pale in comparison. Taken together, it is fair to say that we didn't know what hit us. Taken together, there can be no other logical conclusion than, yes, the Chinese raped us, but we helped them rape us. Bayan ko, binihag ka, nasadlak sa dusa. The words betrayal, traitors, unpatriotic are not enough to describe the despicable, wicked, and perhaps even evil acts of collaboration that some of our leaders, elected officials, and civil servants extended to these criminals. The inquiry conducted in aid of legislation confronted some of the most alarming and deeply rooted threats to our nation. Extrajudicial killings as a result of a much publicized drug war, the illegal drug trade then and now, and the illicit operations of POGOs sponsored by and courtesy of Executive Order Number 13. Throughout the course of our investigation, the committee has painstakingly unraveled a network of interrelated crimes that undermine our national security, erode the rule of law, and threaten the very foundations of our sovereignty. The findings are deeply troubling, indisputable, and call for urgent, decisive action. On the matter of POGOs, our hearings established that their rapid growth was triggered by the issuance of Executive Order Number 13. Although these operations were initially presented as engines of economic growth, promising jobs and foreign investments, those benefits were quickly overshadowed by a surge in various criminal activities. POGO hubs have evolved into breeding grounds for transnational crime. Human trafficking, crypto scams, money laundering, identity fraud, torture, and even murder. Our hearings revealed that these hubs have harbored fugitives such as Wang Ziyang, the owner of the Hongsheng Gaming Technology, as well as Zhang Ruijin and Lin Baoying, both convicted in Singapore for money laundering. Perhaps the most alarming case is that of former Banban Mayor Alice Guo, unmasked as Go Waping, allegedly a Chinese national who infiltrated our political system using fraudulent documents. This is not merely an immigration violation. It is a serious threat to our national security. Quadcom uncovered a disturbing pattern involving the fraudulent acquisition of Philippine citizenship by foreign nationals, often facilitated by falsified civil registry documents, and in many cases, with the willing participation and even facilitation of public officials, making them complicit in the commission of these crimes. Individuals such as Go Waping, Willie Ong, A.D. Taiyang, Tony Yang posed as Filipinos, allowing them to acquire land, control corporations, and operate under the guise of legality, effectively circumventing our laws on nationalization and foreign ownership. One of the most telling examples is the Empire 999 Realty Corporation. As uncovered by this committee, it is composed of foreign nationals posing as Filipino citizens and is directly linked to the seizure of 3.6 billion worth of methamphetamine or shabu from a warehouse in Mexico, Pampanga. Following our investigation, the Securities and Exchange Commission revoked the company's registration. Empire 999, along with affiliates like Lucky South 99, has been tied to a broader criminal network engaged in drug trafficking, land grabbing, human trafficking, investment scams, and money laundering. These are not isolated incidents. The evidence paints a clear picture of a well-coordinated Chinese criminal syndicate operating through layers of corporate entities, nominee shareholders, and corrupt public officials. Prominent figures such as Michael Yang, also known as Hong Ming Yang, and Wei Xiong Lin are repeatedly linked to this network through entities like Pharmally Corporation and Piley Holdings, names that have surfaced not only in Pogo-related investigations but also in our probes into the illegal drug trade. Equally pressing is what we have uncovered regarding the so-called war on drugs under the Duterte administration. Launched with the promise of eradicating criminality in 3 to 6 months, this campaign devolved into a state-sponsored bloodbath that normalized extrajudicial killings as a policy. Our hearings confirm the existence of a reward system in which police officers were incentivized through cash or promotions or favorable assignments for neutralizing individuals listed in the so-called narco list. The narrative was chillingly consistent. Suspects supposedly fought back, nanlaban, thereby justifying the use of lethal force. We have also heard credible accounts of how inclusion in the narco list was used to settle personal and political scores, destroying reputations, careers, and lives without due process. It was a war not only on drugs, but in many cases, on justice itself. The numbers speak for themselves. Official PNP records report 7,640 deaths during police operations from July of 2016 to June of 2022. Human rights organizations estimate that the real figure could be as high as 30,000. Whatever the final tally, the testimonies we have received, often harrowing, sometimes from law enforcement officers themselves, confirm a systematic pattern of abuse where legal safeguards were discarded and human lives were treated as expendable. We heard chilling accounts from the families of victims, from rights defenders, and from former officers who admitted their participation in extrajudicial killings, like the assassination of Attorney Wesley Barayuga, an official of the PCSO and retired military general. We also gave voice to individuals unjustly included in the narco list, helping them reclaim their dignity and seek redress. Let me be clear, these are not mere allegations. Our findings are anchored on official documents, sworn testimonies, financial records, land registries, corporate filings, and in some cases, direct admissions. The record is clear and damning. The duty now falls upon us to ensure that these findings lead to real consequences. We must demand accountability, not only for the victims of extrajudicial killings, despite policies that will dismantle criminal syndicates, hold public officials accountable, reform our law enforcement institutions, and restore faith in justice and the rule of law. Mula sa mga drug lords sa pangunguna ni Michael Yang, na ni minsan ay hindi humarap sa pandinig, salamat sa kanya mga Pilipinong abogado, hanggang sa pagkalat ng mga ilegal na droga na bumibiktima ng mga Pilipino na walang awang pinatay upang pagkakitaan at sa paglaganap ng Philippine state-sponsored Chinese Pogos na nagsilbing taguan ng mga kriminal at mga salaping kinita sa ilegal na droga na pinambili ng mga lupa, pinangsuhol sa mga politiko, ginamit sa eleksyon noon at ngayon, at pambayad sa mga traidor na politiko at kawani ng gobyerno kapalit ng kanilang tulong at pakikipagsabwatan upang mabigyan ng huwad o pekeng pagkakakilanlan ang mga dayuhang kriminal. Nakakagulat malaman na ang lahat ng ito ay coordinated o magkakaugnay na para bang may isang taga-kumpas at ang lahat ay sumusunod. Nakakapanindig balahibo ang mga natuklasan ng Quadcom. Masalimuot, subalit nahimay natin at napagtagpi-tagpi ang lahat. Balikan ninyo ang mga pangalan ng mga personalidad na binanggit at nasangkot sa lahat ng usapin. Hindi sila mga ordinaryong Pilipino o ordinaryong politiko na nakakagimbal at nakakatakot. Sila ang magkakasabwat sa natuklasan ng Quadcom At ang tanong ngayon sa ating mga sarili, ano na, Juan de la Cruz, saan katatayo? Maraming salamat at magandang umaga po.
Matanong ko nga po kayo, tapos na nga po ba ang Pogo? O ito ay nagtatago lamang sa ibang anyo at pangalan? Nakalipas ang ilang buwan mula ng unang public hearing ng Quadcom sa Bacolor, Pampanga noong August 16, 2024. Noong September 5, 2024 naman, inutos ng Pangulo ang agad-agad na pagbabawal ng Pogo sa bansa sa pamamagitan ng Executive Order No. 74. Sa ngayon, sinampahan na ng mga kasong money laundering at qualified human trafficking ang mga pangunahing personalidad sa Pogo tulad nila Guo Waping na dating mayor ng Bamban Tarlac, si Catherine Cassandra Ong at Atty. Harry Roque at marami pang iba. Sa ating pagdinig ngayong umaga, muling inimbitahan ng Quadcom ang Anti-Money Laundering Council, ang Department of Justice, ang Interagency Council Against Trafficking o IACAT, at ang Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission o PAOK upang bigyan tayo ng mga updates ukol sa mga kasong isinampa na laban sa mga personalidad ng Pogo. Ayon sa PAOK, tuloy-tuloy at lagana pa rin ang operasyon ng Pogo. At higit sa 10,000 mga Pogo workers ang nananatiling at large dito sa ating bansa. Sa ating nakaraang mga hearing, naipakita ng PAOK ang kanilang pagiging proactive sa mga law enforcement operations laban sa mga illegal ng Anti-Offshore Gaming Operation Act. Layunin ng panukalang batas na magtakda ng ilang matitibay at di matitinag na probisyon laban sa muling pagsulpot ng mga Pogo sa bansa. Sa ilalim ng House Bill No. 10987, ipapawalang bisa ang dalawang batas na may kaugnayan sa offshore gaming. Ang Executive Order No. 13 na ipinalabas ng panahon ni dating Pangulong Duterte at ang Republic Act No. 11590 o ang batas na nagtatakda ng buwis para sa mga Pogo. Upang maiwasan ang pagbabalik ng offshore gaming operation sa anumang anyo, dapat nating ipatubad ang mahigpit na polisiya laban sa mga Pogo sa anumang anyo nito. Kabilang dito ang pagsasara ng mga butas sa batas, pagpapatibay ng mga kontrol sa imigrasyon at sa mga entry at exit points sa bansa at mas matatag na koordinasyon sa pagitan ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno, bangko at intelligence units. Bagamat nakasuhan na ang mga ilang personalidad na nasa likod ng human trafficking, money laundering at iba pang mga krimen kaugnay ng mga operasyon ng Pogo, ang mga banyagang sangkot na may tuturing na masterminds dito, gaya nila Wang Xiyang, Duaren Wu, at Michael Yang ay hindi pa nahahanap ng mga otoridad. Para hindi na muling makaporma ang Pogo sa anumang anyo sa ating bansa, nararapat na ating siguraduhin na hindi sila makakapagtago sa likod ng pekeng negosyo. May tiwala ako sa ating mga kapulisan at iba pang law enforcement agencies na hindi sila bibitaw sa kanilang tungkulin. Chief Nicolas Torre, malaki po ang inyong responsibilidad laban dito sa Pogo. 10,000 po ang mga Pogo operators na nagkalat pa po sa ating bansa. Sa inyong tapang at kisig, alam po namin na itong 10,000 ito ay mahuhuli natin. Ganoon din po kay General Gilbert Cruz at ang ating pang ibang mga ahensya, inaasahan po namin ang inyong masusi at malawakang pagpapairal ng ating pong sinumpang tungkulin. Sa mga small Pogo operators, ito yung mga tinatawag natin ngayon ng mga backyard. Backyard na lang ginagawa po nila pero patuloy po sila nag-ooperate. Na nagtatago ngayon, umanda kayo. Sa masangkot sa human trafficking, money laundering, scam, torture, kidnapping, at iba pang mga kababuyan na nagtatago sa ibang bansa, may araw din kayo. Hahabulin kayo ng batas at hindi ito titigil hanggang makulong kayong lahat. Walang pakialam ang batas kung opisyal ka noon o may koneksyon ka ngayon. Mananagot ka pa rin sa mga kalupitan na hinayaan mong gawin sa kapwa mo kababayan. Panalo ka man noon sa Pogo, ngayon, tapos na ang laro. Ngayon, hustisya naman ang mananalo. Maraming salamat po.